What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 94. Let's give it a round of applause. Yep, we are back at the greatest, one of the greatest shows, weekday shows ever. That's what I like to say. One of the greatest weekday shows ever, where we talk about a lot of crazy things, a lot of crazy news articles, and a lot of things that we need to review together. Why? Because the world is a crazy place, and there are things that we have to look at and review. That way we can know how to move forward. But you already know what today is. It is Thursday, December 25th, 2025, and another name for that day is Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. If you celebrate, happy holidays. If you don't, I celebrate it. But hopefully everybody had a good day. Celebrate it with your family. You know what the holidays is about. It's about it's about celebrating and spending time with your family, being thankful. Another day of being thankful. And overall, some people also consider a day to eat good. Day to eat good. Hopefully everybody ate good or ate something at least. A lot of people out there who can't eat anything today. But you know how I like to do it. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to go over 4 different topics. Like always, Monday through Friday. We do not miss. Holiday or nothing. We're going to be back here New Year's as well. We don't miss. So Monday through Friday, we go over 4 different topics to where just things that popped up on my screen that I felt like we needed to talk about together. Like always, if you disagree with anything I said, please leave me a comment. Let's have a discussion about it. That is how we make the world move forward in a better place, is how we have discussions, civilized discussions. No need to get angry if your point isn't getting through. I give you my points, you give me your points, and we go about our day. We're not here about to change anybody's mind. If I made a mistake, please tell me. If I got something wrong, tell me. Let's talk about it. But today's, we're going over, like I said, 4 different topics, like always. And let's give a brief summary of what we're going to be going over today. Because, you know, I love to talk about it. But Christmas time is a time where people get desperate for money. But I guess nowadays, all days are times where people get desperate for money. But we got a new Christmas Eve robbery. Looks like somebody based on the video, it looks like they might have drove out with the ATM. Drove out with the store's ATM. Then we're going to go over to the case of 12-year-old Isabella. Looks like 2 brothers were sentenced for her murder while she was sleeping. Absolutely tragic situation. And then we go on over into a next topic where we're talking about 3 teens who ended up beating, I think it was like a 60-year-old man to death. Not to death, but beating a 60-year-old man into a coma. Got a little ahead of myself, into a coma. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the New Jersey bow and arrow attack. Someone was actually out here murdering someone with a bow and arrow. Absolutely crazy times we live in, y'all. It's crazy times. But those are the topics we're going to go over today. Remember, these videos will be broken down, so if you want to review them or go back through them, you can. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. I don't say this, y'all, but make sure you stay hydrated. Oh, nothing like some good water. But you know how I like to do it? I like to jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about, like I mentioned, is the Christmas Eve robbery. Yes, we're going to go over to a Christmas Eve robbery where we're going to look at 2 videos, one about the news report, and then the other is the full surveillance footage of a Christmas Eve robbery where they drove out with the ATM. And we're going to look at just some information about how much money can you expect in one of those ATMs. Is it worth it? But let's get over into the news report and see what we can find out from this situation. Overall, there's a lot of crazy people and desperate people in this world. But let's get over into it and see what we can find out.
Surveillance video inside a Tarrant County convenience store shows a bold ATM theft in action. There are two masked men. They're in black. They use a sledgehammer to get inside. Then they hook a rope to the ATM and floor the SUV. The ATM goes flying. The shelves in that store do too. This all happened in White Settlement. Let's go to Fox 4's David Santendry because, David, you spoke with the chief out there. What does the chief have to say?
Yeah, Heather, well, the chief was saying this was a brazen ATM theft, especially when you consider that it was clear there were people inside the store.
Thankful no one was hurt. You have the store clerk in there. You actually had a customer in there.
Surveillance video shows a customer and clerk inside a White Settlement 7-Eleven around 3 a.m. Wednesday. A stolen SUV parks in front of the store. Two men wearing masks and gloves get out of the SUV. One of them smashes store windows with a sledgehammer. The other hands off a rope with a hook, and they set their sights on an ATM in the back of the store.
Hooks to the ATM, signals to the getaway driver.
Look at this, the force. The ATM pulled out of the store while hooked to the SUV. The men drive off, in and out, in less than 2 minutes.
I mean, to get in and out less than 2 minutes, that is a quick turnaround.
White Settlement police.
They were prepared. They planned it out step by step, exactly what they're going to do. Stole the car so it wouldn't be tracked back to them, hooked it up, and then drove, smashing anything. A lot of damage. Let's keep going.
Chief Christopher Cook says officers responded 15 seconds after the thieves fled, westbound on I-30. And while they got away, they were unable to hold on to the ATM for long.
The cable breaks, and so the ATM goes flying into a grass culvert near a Mitsubishi auto dealership.
Video shows where police found the ATM. License plate readers led police to find the SUV abandoned, a half-mile away from the crime scene.
Of course, unbeknownst to us at the time, that vehicle was stolen about an hour before in Dallas at an apartment complex.
Chief Cook believes this crime is connected to similar incidents in DFW, possibly even ones involving the same store owner.
He's been hit 3 times. He's got a lot of convenience stores in Dallas-Fort Worth. He really feels like same people involved. It's always a stolen SUV. It's always 2 guys, and they do the same thing.
ATM thefts are relatively common, but it's uncommon for bystanders to be inside a store when it happens.
And we believe it was brazen also because not only is the store open, it's well lit, it's a small town. A lot of criminals know you're going to commit crimes in larger populations because sometimes those police officers are more busy.
Chief Cook hopes someone comes forward with information.
This is a pretty serious felony, like you'll go to prison.
Info which leads to an arrest.
These bad guys, they brag about stuff like this. They tell these stories, and so we're hopeful that one of their so-called friends, does the right thing, gives us a tip, even if it's anonymous. They're eligible for a cash reward, and that might lead us down the path to get them identified.
15 seconds. That's how long it took the police to get there. 15 seconds. And then they said this store owner has been hit 3 other times. And the same MO. 2 guys. SUV stolen. He might be targeted. Or it could just be the same people in the same area that they're used to. Because it's very brazen to do this with people still in the store. You got to think, what if that thing would have came around and knocked somebody's head off? They wouldn't just be looking at robbery, they'd be looking at theft. But let's go over into this next video where we get into the full surveillance video. No sound of this, so we'll just look through it. So this is where you can see where he's breaking his way into the store, breaking through the glass. Boom. Hooks it real quick. Most likely has experience with this. Moves out the way. Boom. Absolutely crazy. Go outside. Same thing. Little back it up some. Smashing through the window. He's giving the signal to go. And he reverses and does it again. floors it. Boom. Oh, so much damage. Blew the doors, the windows off. A lot of product gone. They try to pull off, hit the van. More damage. Because this is just from another angle. Absolutely crazy situation. And he's been hit 3 other times before. But here's a question. How much money can they expect to get in one of these ATMs? That is a question I always had. Well, how much money can they expect to get into these ATMs? So let's go over into this. So quick, you do your background check, do your checks to make sure reliable information, but we can get a general idea using AI. The amount of money usually in ATM varies by location and operator, but typically ranges from 10 to 20,000 for retail machines and 50 to 200,000 for bank-owned machines. So this was a gas station, so at most they're getting around $20,000. So retails, like they said, hold between $10,000 and $20,000 in cash, often with around $1,000 and $20 bills. Cash levels are dynamic and managed using sophisticated software monitoring systems, variable schedules that when they put more money inside the machines, and a lot of different things. But overall, this is a crazy situation that happened on on Christmas Eve. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Now, the question is, will they find them? Because this is a well-executed machine. They said in less than 2 minutes. They came in there, destroyed the store, and got out with the ATM, but they didn't make it. And the rope broke, and the cops were there on them within what? They said like 15 minutes? Might have been 15 seconds, something crazy like that. In 15 seconds. Let's go back to what did they say?
Surveillance video inside.
Responded 15 seconds after the thieves fled.
15 seconds after they fled, the police were on them, ready to go. That's what happens when you do it in a small town. The police have more availability sometimes, and they're able to get there even quicker. But do you think that they've done this before? I mean, just less than 2 minutes. They didn't fumble around. They didn't care. They were brazen about it. They didn't care about people being in the store. They did what they needed to do and got out. They didn't make it out. They didn't make it too far. The ATM didn't even make it with them. Then they ditched the car half mile away. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all, but we will keep up with it to see if they can find them. But this guy has been hit 3 times. It's just a crazy coincidence that all 3 times are the same MO, or people are targeting him. But they said he owns a lot of stores. But that's something you got to be worried about. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. But we will pivot over into this next topic we're going to get into today. The case of 12-year-old Isabel. Yes, we're going to get over into the case of 12-year-old Isabel, where 2 brothers were sentenced for shooting her while she was sleeping. So we'll get over into this. We're going to see them in court. And the judge had some words for him. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out about this situation. Absolutely crazy. Let's get into it.
The 2 brothers involved in Isabella Carlos's murder knows he will now go to prison. He shot a 12-year-old girl while she slept in her bed. And this afternoon, a jury convicted Antoine Benson on all charges, including murder. But Isabella was not the target on West Fairview last year. That's where we have News Center 7's Mike Campbell live this afternoon. Mike, Benson fired shots which hit 3 homes on that street.
Well, James, Antoine Benson, whose trial wrapped up this week, and Javen Connor, who will go on trial next week, actually targeted a woman who lived in a duplex at the end of this block. However, their weapons sprayed more than 36 bullets over 3 homes, killing a 12-year-old student and putting them on trial for murder.
So what does that mean? That most likely means we know we're not going to stop it too much, but he had something he could not handle. He probably had something with, we got a switch. He probably had a switch, and it sprayed. He couldn't control the gun, and it sprayed, and he accidentally shot more than one home.
We, the jury, find defendant Antoine Benson guilty of
it might not even be accident. He might have just did it because he didn't care.
Offense of murder.
Judge Gerald Parker reads the jury's verdicts as they found Antoine Benson guilty of all 9 charges against him. Benson showed no emotion. He did respond when a loved one cried out to him.
I love you, Swan.
I love you too. Don't try to keep your head up.
Prosecutors walked jurors and family members.
Was that a smirk?
Don't try to keep your head up.
That was definitely a smirk.
To him.
I love you, Swan.
I love you too. Don't try to keep your head up.
Prosecutors walked jurors and family members through all the evidence. Those family members say it was tough, but the result is the right step.
It's never easy, especially when you lose a child, but they're getting what they deserve.
Big relief.
Jennifer Eisen and Michael Nooks were 12-year-old Isabella Carlos's legal guardians and parents. Losing her is nonstop pain.
Just heartbroken.
Jennifer Eisen says her child is gone, and one other young man has changed his life forever, with one more trial to go.
Heartbroken for all involved, all the young children making poor mistakes, decisions in their lives.
Prosecutors showed Antoine Benson and Javen Connor chasing a woman out of an apartment complex with guns pointed at her car just hours before the fatal gunfire. Police said their social media beef led them to recruit another woman to drive them near the Fairview duplex and Isabella's home, where they sent a hail of bullets toward the homes across the street.
What was your reaction when you heard guilty?
Oh, I was satisfied. I was justly satisfied. I'm just waiting for see how long we get.
Back live here, because of what happened on this street, Antoine Benson is now facing a very long prison term. He is scheduled to be sentenced on December 22nd, and Javen Connor's trial on the same basic charges is scheduled to begin next Monday. Reporting live in Dayton, Mike Campbell, News Center 7.
All right, let's walk you through how we got.
Now let's get over into the next trial that happened later.
A 6 trial got going today for the second man investigators said killed a 12-year-old girl. Police said Javen Connor fired dozens of shots at a home on Fairview Avenue and killed Isabella Carlos while she slept. News Center 7's Mike Campbell was in a Montgomery County courtroom for opening statements.
Javen Connor and his brother Antoine Benson are accused of coming to this vacant abandoned building in Dayton, standing there and opening fire on a duplex that's across the street. Police say they fired more than 36 shots at that duplex, but one of their shots went off target and killed a 12-year-old girl as she slept.
Just after midnight on August 23rd, 2024, gunfire erupted in Dayton. 3 houses on West Fairview Avenue were hit with a hailstorm of bullets.
Prosecutors told a jury they would walk them through all the evidence that points to Javen Connor as being responsible for Isabella Carlos's death. They claim the men seen carrying high-powered weapons on this surveillance video from a Trotwood apartment complex just hours before the fatal shots are Javen Connor and Antoine Benson. They also claim Connor and Benson are the men on this video, spotting a car, then running towards the vehicle with weapons drawn. The woman driving that car lived at the Fairview duplex next to Isabella's house.
During this trial, you will learn about the events leading up to the shooting just hours beforehand. And you will know exactly where this defendant fits into those events.
Connor's defense lawyer has a much different view of what happened.
You're going to wonder, does this guy have any kind of motive? Does Mr. Connor have any kind of motive to do what he's accused of doing?
Jeffrey Grams urged the jury to keep an open mind about Javen Connor. He said they will see Connor is not the one with an obvious motive to fire weapons that led to Isabella Carlos's death.
if that doesn't make you realize that there is some reasonable doubt here as to who actually committed these shootings.
The Javen Connor trial is also expected to take about a week, with all of the prosecution witnesses and exhibits and any defense witnesses that may be called. It's not clear if Javen Connor will take the stand in his own defense.
Absolutely crazy situation. My thoughts is, if he's one of the people with them, holding the gun and going all about that in that life, send him to jail too. Send him to jail too. But let's get over into a judge had some powerful words to say to him, to one of them. Let's get over into it.
New at 5, it's life in prison for the first of 2 brothers convicted in the shooting death of a 12-year-old while she slept. Hello, I'm Gabrielle Enright. James Brown is off. Today, a judge sentenced Antoine Benson. His first chance at parole is 65 years from now. News Center 7's John Bedell joins us live in Dayton. And John, you were in court for the sentencing today and heard from Isabella's family.
There was a lot of emotion inside one of the courtrooms, Gabby, inside the Montgomery County Courthouse right here off to my left. Some from the victim's family, even in some cases from the judge. In this case, both of them had strong words for a man convicted in connection with the little girl's murder. On Monday, Danetta Dewberry faced a convicted murderer and told him he robbed a young life.
She didn't even become 13.
Her niece, Isabella Carlos.
My niece was laying there sleeping, getting ready for school the next day. She deserved that. We would never get to see Bella go to prom. Her first love, her first date, anything.
Antoine Benson was convicted of his role in Isabella's murder. Police said gunfire from him and his brother missed their intended target. At sentencing, the judge did not hold back.
And I've seen the videos and the pictures of all the boys with the Dracos and the ARs, a bunch of fake wannabe NBA young boys who can't look a person in their eyes who they have a beef with and say, this is why I have a beef with you.
At trial, prosecutors said what led the brothers to spray bullets into several homes, including Isabella's, was a spat on social media.
Instead, they get these guns and they post on the gram, they post on Facebook, and they show videos and pictures of empty clips of what they just did, send it back to their own phone, portraying this sense of false bravado, toughness. Y'all saw, all of y'all weak. All of y'all soft in those pictures.
Benson had this to say before he learned his sentence.
I'd like to apologize to the family. And more so, apologize to my family, putting them through this situation. And that's really it.
Isabella's aunt said she wanted Benson to ask God for forgiveness every day he's in prison. And then she said this about his crimes.
I want you to think about it. And you think about it hard. Think about it hard, here. Think about what you and your brother did to my family and these people's family. Y'all think about it, because it makes no sense.
Benson's sentence was 67 to 72 and a half years to life in prison. Here's what that means. That's an assumed life sentence here in Ohio with, if he behaves in prison, his first shot at parole in 67 years. If not, the state prison system can make him wait as long as 72 and a half years for his first shot at parole. Even on the low end of that stretch right there, with his jail time credit, Benson will be 90 when he's up for parole for the first time. We're live in Dayton this afternoon.
90 years old before he can think about seeing the light of day. Think about it. Oh, my God. So a minimum of 67 years in prison. So he's 24 years old. 24. Threw away his whole life. Oh, my God. Possibly out at 90 years old. Can't even do anything. So we're still waiting on Connors, but he was found guilty on the charges on December 19th. Absolutely crazy. Crazy situation over a social media dispute. People love to start over social media. You're going to throw away your life and the rest of your young life. You're only 24 years old. And now you're in jail till I'm 90. At a minimum, it's not a maximum, a minimum at 90 years old, you'll be able to up for parole. When you're so old to even barely even move. Or you might even be dead. Love to be wannabe gangsters. Soft. That's what the judge called them. The judge called them soft. Which I 100% agree. Handle your beef like a real man. Either talk it out or handle it. Hey, it's better than shooting. I say handle it with your fist. But people scared to get I ain't gonna try to cuss too much, get their butt whooped. People scared. Absolutely crazy. And then it's a crazy world, y'all. But we are happy that they are caught and facing good amount of time. I don't want to hear any of that slap on the wrist. Life. Those are basically life sentences. Hopefully the brother gets the same thing. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. 24 years old and not getting out till 90 years old. It's what you get. It's what you get. All over a social media beef. And enjoy the rest of your time. Hopefully you won't become nobody's boyfriend. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Crazy situation. We're going to pivot over into this next topic. More teens doing stupid things. We got 3 teens who end up beating a man into a coma on a bus. So we got a few videos to look at. What is the world coming to, y'all? What is the world coming to? But let's get over into it and see what we can find out from this situation. Overall, we live in a crazy world. We live in an absolutely crazy world. Let's jump over into it. See what we can find out.
62-year-old stepped. The man's family says the 62-year-old stepped out to buy cigarettes and never made it home. Tonight, his nephew is speaking out. Leslie Moreno has all the details. She joins us live. Leslie.
Hey, Don, good evening. Yeah, we actually just learned in the last couple of hours that 2 15-year-olds, a boy and a girl, have been charged in connection with that brutal attack. I also spoke with the family of the victim. They're very happy about the news, and they're also hoping that by speaking up and sharing their story, it'll spark some change as far as how the city of Chicago addresses teen violence.
It was supposed to be a simple errand. 62-year-old Larry Gilkey left his home last Tuesday to buy cigarettes. His family says he never came back.
He woke up and he didn't even know where he was.
Family later learned Gilkey was brutally attacked on a CTA bus in the 700 block of South Cicero just before 6 o'clock. His nephew, who wants to remain anonymous, says Gilkey was simply trying to help one of the teens who attacked him.
One of the kids that attacked him asked him for $2 so that he can ride the bus. When he pulled money out of his pocket to give that kid the $2, another kid hit him, and he was just out from there. So he went to help someone that needed the help, and it turned out a different way.
He's been in the hospital since with severe head injuries. Chicago police later identified the 3 teens using surveillance video from CTA cameras. For the family, the attack has sparked serious concerns about safety on public transportation.
It's just not right. It's not okay, and they definitely need to come up with a plan to curb the violence that goes on these public transportation each and every day. They have to protect the citizens.
And a mess.
It makes you not want to do nice things for people. Let's be honest about it. Someone asks you, someone looks like they're really struggling, asks you for $2. You go to pull out your wallet and you get sucker punched in the head. And now you're in a coma. Your family's worried about you. You might be the only breadwinner for your family. All because you tried to be a nice guy and help somebody who you thought really needed help. It, like I said, it makes you not want to do nice things for people.
For the 3 teens.
You just got to make better decisions. Me being a person who was born and raised in Chicago, I love Chicago. This is my home. People just need to make better decisions.
And tonight, family tells me Gilkey is finally awake and out of the woods, but he still has a very long road to recovery as far as those two teens. They're facing several counts, several felony counts. For now, reporting live here in the Loop, Leslie Moreno, Fox, Chicago.
New at 6, 3 teenagers
Absolutely crazy. Let's pivot over into this next video.
are now charged in the beating of a 62-year-old man on a CTA bus last week. All of them appeared in court earlier today.
2 are charged as juveniles, the other as an adult. WGN's Christine Flores joins us live with more on the charges as well as reaction from the victim's family. Christine?
Good evening to the both of you. After spending several days in a coma, Larry Gilkey is awake and alert. However, his family says he doesn't recall much from the incident, but they do say it was unprovoked.
The whole altercation started because one of them asked him for money, I'm assuming to ride the bus. And when he pulled out the money and went to give it to the person, he was attacked. And that's the only thing that he remembered. He woke up in the hospital and I was there, and he didn't know where he was. He didn't know who I was.
Tavares Harvey is describing what he believes led to the brutal attack that sent his uncle, 62-year-old Larry Gilkey, to the hospital last Tuesday evening.
He was just returning home from just picking up a few items, some cigarettes and some things to drink from the gas station there, which is only maybe about 4 blocks away from his home.
Police say the attack happened around 5:40 p.m. in the 700 block of South Cicero Avenue. According to court documents, there was a verbal altercation between Gilkey and suspects that led to the attack. Prosecutors say a female and 2 male suspects ran towards Gilkey at the front of the bus and began to strike him, knocking him to the ground. They say the suspects punched, kicked, and stomped on Gilkey as he lay on the ground by the door of the bus. Documents show the driver stopped the bus and opened the door, but the suspects continued to strike Gilkey as he lay motionless on the ground. Then the suspects exited the bus and walked northbound on Cicero. Police and paramedics responded to the scene and took Gilkey, who was unresponsive and suffering from significant blunt force trauma, to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he is still being treated.
They want to keep an eye on him. I believe from there, he's going to do some rehab in a facility, and then he'll be able to come home, and he'll have to have daily care at home.
A female and male, both 15, have been arrested for their role in the incident. The pair were charged with 3 counts of aggravated battery. 18-year-old Lyndale Roberts Jr. was also arrested and charged in the attack, which includes felony counts of aggravated battery and several misdemeanor counts. The female was also charged with attempting to steal a vehicle on Sunday in the Austin neighborhood. She and Roberts were taken into custody after that vehicle theft investigation. Officials say at least 3 witnesses positively ID'd the suspects in still photos from the surveillance video.
He's very happy. He's also very angry, that it was a bunch of children, but he's happy that, he's alive and, they've been caught.
The 2 teen suspects were ordered to be held in custody. They're back in court on December 30th. Roberts, the 18-year-old, also ordered detained, is due back in court on December 29th. Now, Gilkey's family has created a GoFundMe to help with medical expenses and rent. You can find that link on our website. Live in the news.
Now, I will say something. So you saw how the 2 15-year-olds, of course, they're not going to show their photos but we might be able to find them on Twitter. Might do a little searching around, see if I can find anything. But they don't show the images of them. They show the 18-year-old. I want to see what these criminals look like. They said the girl was stealing cars in another area. These people are criminals. They deserve their picture plastered. You beat an old man down so bad he fell into a coma. And when he was about to try to do something good, like helping someone with their bus ticket, absolutely crazy. Let's go over into this next video, see if we learn any more details.
From his hospital room here at Mount Sinai Hospital, Larry Gilkey talks about the attack and the fear he has now of getting back on the CTA after what is now, we know, is his second attack on public transportation here in Chicago in less than 2 years.
I feel better. I do feel a little better.
While he feels better, Larry Gilkey, affectionately known as Uncle Larry, has a long road to recovery. Last week, 3 teens viciously attacked the 62-year-old while on the CTA bus along Cicero in West Garfield Park.
The only thing I remember was getting on the bus. It's the last thing I remember.
On Sunday, CPD issued this community alert showing the 3 people suspected of beating Uncle Larry. By Monday, a 15-year-old boy and girl were charged, and later an 18-year-old, Lindell Roberts, arrested. All 3 are charged with felonies in the attack which left Uncle Larry in a medically induced coma
we can see their
for 5
pictures.
days
I was about to say.
with bleeding on his brain.
They're going to get what they deserve.
They didn't show their mugshots, but we saw them through the severe security cameras. That's good.
That's all I got for them. They're going to get what they deserve.
Uncle Larry's twin brother and nephew have been by his bedside constantly. They want the teenagers to get the harshest punishment.
If you're making those type of decisions and you're out here doing those type of things to innocent people, then you need to be held accountable, and you need to know what that punishment is like.
The family is insisting CTA must improve security on buses and trains to ensure riders are truly safe.
This is not the first time that this happened, though.
In the summer of 2024, on July 2nd, Uncle Larry was targeted on the Blue Line train at the Forest Park stop.
I was robbed and attacked. I walked away from that.
The second time it happened, you're in the coma. The third time it happens, it's like, what, you're dead now?
Do you feel as if you could ever hop back on a CTA bus again?
Not right now. No, not right now.
Uncle Larry and his family are grateful to those who showed their love of Chicago by donating to the GoFundMe account, which has collected thousands.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But the biggest thanks goes to a Secret Santa who contacted the family on this Christmas Eve, offering a very large amount of cash. And get this, a car with registration and taxes paid for 1 full year. This way, when Larry gets out of the hospital, he can feel safe. Now that's the true love of Chicago.
Wow. People did show out, but it said this is the second time it's happened to him. The second time it's happened to him, and he got into a coma. Yeah, one more time, he might end up dead. He might end up dead. Let's go a little breakdown. You know how I like to do it. Let's go to the AI and see what they're talking about. So they talked about this happened in December 2025. 3 teenagers brutally assaulted the 62-year-old man. The attack happened Tuesday, December 16th, around 5:40 in the 700 block. He was attempting to help one of the teens with bus fare when the group turned on him. The whole altercation started because one of them asked him for money, assuming to ride the bus. And then he was attacked. Punched him in the head, stomped on him. Even after he fell to the ground, laying motionless, the victim suffered severe head trauma and was placed in medical-induced coma. Police identified through CTA camera. So you got the 18-year-old and the 2 15-year-olds, a boy and a girl. And of course, they're going to be charged as juveniles. It's a crazy world, y'all. Senseless violence. 100% senseless violence. And why are they charged as juveniles? I need these people who commit things like this. Big boy crimes need big boy times. I've said that several times. Y'all know that. Big boy crimes need big boy times. Man, all this senseless violence is crazy. What's happening to the world? That is my question. The world is a crazy place. Has it always been this crazy, or are we just, since we got internet and YouTube, and news reports, we're just finding out more about it? Or is it just teens are getting crazier and crazier? Yeah, I need these 2 15-year-olds to be charged as adults. Big boy crimes need big boy times. I don't need any of them charged as juveniles. They beat a man so bad he needed to get put into a coma. Medically induced coma. All because they were trying to rob somebody. And he was trying to do he was a good Samaritan. What is the world coming to, y'all? I'm happy they are arrested. But we need to wait until see exactly what these two younger kids get charged with. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. The world is a crazy place, y'all. We got to review it together. Keep your head on a swivel. And be careful about who you try to help out. We got to be honest. This all happened because he pulled out his wallet and he attempted to help somebody. This, like I said, it makes you question if you truly need to help people or when to truly help somebody. I be thinking about that all the time. Somebody just asked me for my. It was like, yeah, well, can I use your phone to call? They got an emergency. I need to call somebody. Next thing you know, you get your phone taken. You get hit over the head. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a wild world, y'all. It's a wild world. We're gonna go over into our last topic for today. We got the New Jersey bow and arrow attack. Yes, somebody out here shooting bow and arrow at somebody, killing them. So we got a few videos to look at. And then we'll go over into the summary as well, like you know how we do. But we got to go over into this next topic. It looks like he also, I think he set fire to his house when they tried to get him. Whole crazy situation. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out from this situation. At the end of the day, you never know when the day can be your last. Especially somebody shooting bow and arrow people. Let's see if it was random. That's the question. Was it random?
And now to that bizarre and deadly chain of events in Kearney, New Jersey.
Police say the man behind a fatal bow and arrow type of attack barricaded himself in a home where he set 2 fires. And after an hours-long standoff, he finally surrendered this afternoon.
Certainly a tense 24 hours for police and for people who live near the scene on Kearney Avenue, which was shut down amid the chaos. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon.
The flames shooting out of 20 Kearney Avenue early in the morning were the first indication for many neighbors that something was wrong.
5 o'clock in the morning when it started the fire, the SWAT, he tell me to everybody go out.
The Hudson County SWAT team was already there. Here, a neighbor captured the officers with guns drawn and pointed at the house while firefighters doused the flames. They were there to negotiate with a person of interest in a deadly assault who'd barricaded himself inside. And soon the house was engulfed. That deadly assault was right around 6 last night on the same block. A man had collapsed right here on the ground in front of a business with an arrow in his back.
When you pass the front house and they get shot with the
arrow.
Yes, exactly.
Around 7 or 8 o'clock, the police started showing up and they started doing the investigative work. And about 12 a.m. I walked by and I saw that's when the SWAT team started showing up.
More than 12 hours later, they would leave with a suspect in handcuffs this afternoon as more smoke rose from the house. They believe the suspect started a second, smaller fire and was armed with knives when they arrested him.
I'm still in shock, actually.
Neighbors evacuated from their homes, sheltered in a nearby church for hours, while others were told to stay inside.
Police handled it very well. They did help us very much. I truly appreciate that.
So far, no indication as to why this man would fire an arrow at the victim.
That was clearly a deliberate choice, but I hope the family finds peace in these trying times. This man, he had to have been mentally disturbed.
He looked like a normal person, for me, but...
You know I don't like to hear, oh, he's mentally... I mean, it could be possible he was mentally disturbed, but I think there's just some demons in the world.
That last neighbor you heard from lives 2 doors down from the suspect. She has taken in an elderly man who lived right in between. His house was badly damaged. The Hudson County Prosecutor's Office is expected to charge the suspect. It is handling the investigations into the homicide, arson, and hours-long standoff. And so far, it has not identified the suspect or the victim. In Kearney, New Jersey, Sonia Rincon, Channel.
Absolutely crazy situation. Let's go over into this next video.
Suspect accused of killing a New Jersey man with a bow and arrow now facing murder charges.
Such a strange case. It comes as we learn more about the victim, and questions are swirling in the community over exactly what happened. Let's check in with Jessica Formoso. She's watching this case. Do we know any more about kind of what went down here, Jessica?
Dan and Rosanna, we're actually waiting to hear from prosecutors later this morning because he is expected to get arraigned, and we will probably learn more exactly what unfolded. But just a bizarre story. And the question everyone is asking is why? Why did the suspect allegedly shoot an innocent man with a bow and arrow? Investigators now trying to piece together a chain of events. This as prosecutors have charged 44-year-old Oscar Feijó with murder for the death of 45-year-old Pablo Criollo. There is surveillance video that shows Criollo walking on Kearney Avenue by himself just before 7 p.m. on Saturday when he is struck by an arrow, that arrow piercing his back. The video just too graphic to show you. Family and neighbors of the victim have set up a small memorial in the spot where he took his last breath. His wife says he was a hardworking man who was walking home from work. She had been on the phone with him talking about their Sunday plans just before he was killed. According to investigators, the husband and father of two was struck by an arrow fired by Oscar Feijó, who has now been charged with murder, weapons offenses, and aggravated arson. After killing the victim, police say the suspect barricaded himself inside his home on Kearney Avenue. Police and SWAT team units were brought in. The Hudson County Prosecutor's Office says they attempted to make contact with the suspect, who allegedly started 2 fires inside his home. After more than an 18-hour-long standoff, the suspect surrendered, coming out of his home armed with knives. He was quickly taken into custody. Neighbors described the suspect as unstable and frightening.
A very strange man. He's scary person all the time. When you see him, you just run away. That's how I was looking at him. Because he had, you cannot walk next to his house, ever. You can see the line over there, that he did a line. He closed the door with the thing.
I feel bad for this family, really, because he had a wife, he had kids, and who would want coming home from work to get shot out of nowhere?
The victim came from Ecuador to the U.S. at the age of 16, looking for a better life. His family has set up a GoFundMe to help with the funeral costs. So far, they have raised more than $30,000. Meanwhile, the Hudson County prosecutor says more charges are expected. Feijó could be arraigned at some point later today. Dan and Rosanna, just a devastating story to report right before Christmas, really.
Absolutely crazy. Let's go over to this next video.
Saturday night, zoomed-in surveillance video captured the apparent sound of a bow snap. And then you see 45-year-old Pablo Cerrillo jerk in pain. An arrow had just pierced his back on Kearney Avenue. News 4 is not showing the moment he collapses. His widow was beside herself with grief, just steps away from where an arrow took her husband's life. We were happy that day, she said. He just wanted to get home faster to plan the next day's shopping for Christmas. The Hudson County prosecutor says this man, 44-year-old Oscar Feijó, is the bow and arrow assassin. More than 18 hours after the bow and arrow attack, the suspect gave himself up. Heavily armed police walked him out of the house to a waiting ambulance. Paula Arnez says the senseless targeting of her husband just days before Christmas is unbearable for her children.
We thank you for watching, and remember,
It's a crazy world we live in, y'all. It's a very crazy world. Shooting a bow and arrow at somebody. Let's where is it at? Let's hear that.
And then you see 45-year-old Pablo surveillance video captured the apparent sound of a bow snap. And then you see 45-year-old Pablo Cerrillo jerk in pain. An arrow
you can hear him scream out. You can hear him scream out in pain. The world is a crazy place. The world is a truly crazy place. But let's you know how we do it. Break it down a little bit more. So it happened on Saturday. Pablo was walking home when he was struck in the back with an arrow. Surveillance footage captured the whole thing, the sound of the bow and arrow and the victim stumbling before he collapsed. He was pronounced dead at the University Hospital in Newark. The suspect, identified as 44-year-old Oscar, fled to his residence where he barricaded himself inside. He set a fire. He ignited within the home. Several fires were ignited within the home at approximately 5 a.m. Standoff lasted for 12 hours before he surrendered, and he was charged with murder, aggravated arson, and unlawful possession of a weapon. Now attacks with a bow and arrow is rare. It happened in Norway, 2021. A man killed 5 people in an attack using a bow and arrow. Wyoming in 2012. Attack at Casper College. And in Michigan in 2025. Earlier October, a man was critically injured with a bow and arrow shooting at a motel. At the end of the day, we gotta, like my friend here said, condolences to the family. We have to pray for the family. We say this often. The victims, we gotta pray for them. It's a crazy world. I wonder, my first initial thoughts is, I wonder if he was targeting immigrants. I'm thinking, just my initial thoughts, was he targeting immigrants? Well, we'll have to wait to find out to see if we can learn anything about why he was targeting them. I don't think the police have released anything yet. Let's double check to make sure. So as of December, no official motive have been disclosed. Everybody's saying it's a random attack. Prosecutor in the Mirror reports has described the shooting as a random strike against a stranger. Mental state. Neighbors and witnesses suggest that the suspect appeared unstable. One neighbor described his appearance as looking like a devil. Targeted intent. Friends of the victim believe the suspect was simply looking to kill someone. Suggest the attack was deliberately act of violence without a personal vendetta against the victim. Absolutely crazy. A random man shoots somebody in the back with a bow and arrow. He was just coming home, looking forward to going Christmas shopping with his wife. Probably the breadwinner of his family. It's a tragic situation. We got to pray for them. Hopefully they can make it through it. They need to make it through it. Hopefully he gets the just punishment he deserves. I don't want to hear any of that slap on the wrist. Oh, he pleads insanity. I don't want to see any of that. Because we got to admit that some people are devils. That's my thinking. You can't just blame it all on mental health all the time. Some people are just devils. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Remember, y'all, this is the show. This is the show. AC Reviews the World, where we go over crazy topics, 4 topics every single day, Monday through Friday. Things that we need to review together. We need to go through this. We need to figure out how to move and make it through this crazy world together. If you disagree with anything I said, please let me know. Now to do a little summary, you know how I like to do it at the very end, do a little summary over everything we talked about. We got the Christmas Eve robbery, where 2 suspects who possibly done it before, in broad daylight, hooked up an ATM to the back of a stolen truck and slammed it through it, not caring about who they possibly hit, who they could hurt. And then you had the case of Isabella Carlos, a 12-year-old girl who, just sleeping in her bed, was shot by 2 brothers. I don't know if they were brothers. Were they brothers? I don't think they were brothers. No, not brothers. 2 friends. 2 friends. Over some social media beef they was having with somebody else. They shot up the house and killed her. Then you had 3 teens, 2 15-year-olds and 1 18-year-old, who beat a man so bad he needed to be placed into a medical coma. All after he was willing to help one of them with some bus fare. And then lastly, we talked about this New Jersey bow and arrow attack, where a random man ended up shooting someone in the back with a bow and arrow, then barricading himself inside and setting 2 fires. Our people are probably going to try to put mental health, and he's going to probably go the insane asylum route. That's probably what the defense attorney's going to say. Absolutely crazy world we live in, y'all, but we got to review it together. We have to review the world together. Now, remember, these videos will be broken down, so you can watch the exact one you want. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching now, and thank you for watching later. If you come in later, it's a crazy world, y'all. Crazy world. You have a happy new year too, my friend. God. Stay healthy, stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, because some people only look out for themselves. That's it for now, y'all. I will be here tomorrow, Monday through Friday. No holiday or not, we are here. 6 o'clock, we're going to be going over some more different topics. Please join me. But that's it for now, y'all. You already know I got to play the outro. Peace.